Alright guys, this is the second video for the After Effects class, and we're gonna talk about the key, the background of the logo image here. So I'm selecting this logo image. This is the API, not the file. Okay, so let's go talk about this logo image. So as you can see, it has the black background. I have the composition is also black. So when I animate this logo from the first video clip, um, it looks okay, but actually it has the black background. How do we get rid of this like black background on the composition window? So this is about we're gonna use the keying effects. So let's go. I need a background image, so I'll use this as a background image, changing to the image size kind of fit for that. Actually, I don't want to kind of stretch. Okay, so I have this image right here on the window. So I have the layer 1. Later on, yeah, we're gonna make the composition, the transition. So like that's what we did like last week. Go to 2 seconds, and I'll change this to the opacity change and stuff, right? So I did that last week. So from 0%, no, actually 100% here for the 2 second, and that starting is kind of like from 0%. So when you play, it's previewing. Okay, go ahead. Oh, this is a still layer, so I have to go to composition. It's not the layer. Here's the composition. So we're changing this. So when you double click this, it'll actually open what this looks like in the composition window, but this is actually a separate tab, so you have to go to your composition. So that's why the fade in was not working. But anyway, after that, we got the transition here. Like 2 seconds. Let's go to 4 seconds. I'm going to add another image. So let's say this one on top of that. So I'm changing this layer order. So this is the download, and I can go change this. So it's starting from right here, transition, fade in, and oh, this is small. No, this is too small. Let me go back. Not using this delete key. Alright, use something else. This one. Okay, so much bigger image, which is better. Composition, I'm gonna change the size a little bit. Alright, so 4 seconds, 400. Now I'm moving this, so fade in, 2 seconds, and switch. Okay, that's good. And on top of this, I'll talk about adding the logo. So let's go add the logo here. It's a huge logo, so I gotta make it smaller. Yeah, about that big. Okay. Now as you can see, it has the black background. How are you gonna get rid of that? Of course, you can do it in Photoshop. You go to Photoshop and using the selection tools, and you can just delete and save as PNG or with a transparent background, you can do that. But in After Effects, you can actually using something called keying. So let's go select the logo layer, and then Effects, Keying, and I'm gonna use the color difference key. Click on it. Now you have these eyedroppers. This is the effects window. So this is kind of like switching your project window. So let's go click that eyedropper tool. You go to your composition window and click that black, and now the key color is black. Okay, so yeah, using this eyedropper, I'm going to get rid of this the black background, and as you can see, this is adding the transparency on the inside area, which is somewhat kind of opposite what we expected. So I have like many options you can try, but also on the layer you can go to, now you have the effects under the logo layer here, so you can expand. This is what we add, color difference key. I can just reset it, or in this case probably I'm going to use another different keying. So delete that effects with the delete key, and I'll add another effects, which is at the bottom. There's a linear color key. So this one actually kind of like giving you a different color than your actual logo image. But when you select the eyedropper, and I want to get rid of this background, which is the black color, but this is blue, click on it. So now, as you can see, it's completely kind of get rid of the black solid background. I'm going to try this one more time with a different logo, but this image, it depends on all the image. You know, some images it works just fine with the color difference key. This one is the linear color key, it works better. So, but as you can see, I got rid of all the background, so now we can animate this, you know, the logo layer. And then let me go to, let's hide this, and I'll go back to the project panel, and here's another logo. So this is kind of more cartoony logo than the other one. This one actually has the white background, so I'll give it a try one more time. The same effects, the keying, linear color key. Probably it'll get rid of that. Yeah, the all color, white color from the image, which is I want that. In this case, maybe we have to do it in Photoshop, but so we can actually, you know, make the transparent background in Photoshop. You bring it back as PNG or TIFF, Toggle, PSD with the alpha channels on it. Then you can keep this like inside the white paint for the image, but the keying is like perfectly working for this image too. Okay, so this is called the effects keying, and color difference key or linear color key. So if you have the background like solid color, you can just get rid of that with those effects. And the type tool is right here. So this is the selection tool. This is hand tool. You can just move around. And the pen tool is for later on. You can add a mask and rotoscoping. But yeah, we're not really doing this in this class. So you will learn it in the like future classes. And type tool is you can just go click on like anywhere from your composition window. It'll give you the new layer. You can just type in on the right side. You can just change your type size. Yeah, change the your types, and you can just type in like Sherman tank. and 4, something like that. Now it has the white color. I can just move around. See, I can just type. You can just add like any type. And this type tool is actually same as the other layers. You go expand, there's a transform. So you can just make the opacity or position change. You can animate that with a clock icon, clock in, so that it has the keyframes. You go there, you move, and you got this like linear animation going on. Okay. And also under the text, so I can change these options here too. Change this like what this looks like. Okay, so you can change the look of the types on the character panel here. And the layer, just like the Photoshop layer, I have this like the type layer here. You can go to layer, and you go layer style. Just like the Photoshop layer style, we got the drop shadow effects and everything there. So I have the little drop shadow right there, and where is that? This is the position layer style. There's a drop shadow. Let's keep adding on your layer selection there. There's a drop shadow. Now we can get the opacity change. It's gonna like make it the angle distance. I can change that. This is the size spread out. You see that kind of hard to see, but let me see. Underneath right here, distance. See, the drop shadow is changing, opacity. So all the control is just like the Photoshop. Okay, so you can add this like nice layer style under the type layer too. And one last thing, the last thing I'm going to talk about with the like transition. So now I have like the manual transition here, right? So this is the manual transition. I'm changing the bottom opacity change from 0% to 100%. When you have like multiple layer setups, it'll go kind of transition with just the opacity, or you can just move in. Yeah, that's what we talked about like last week. But actually, we have some more transition effects. Under the effects, there's a transition here. So this is kind of like default transition, but there's a lot of like plugin packages you can add it. So let's say we have to add this actually. Okay, so I have to change the layer order because so this is starting with this image and kind of like showing the image about like 2 seconds, and now on the top layer I'm gonna add that effects. So go to effects and then transition. Let me go try like CG image wipe or card wipe. Yeah, I'm adding this effects on the layer 4, and you have the effects right there, card wipe, and all the effects is right here. And this is kind of like not really showing anything because as you can see, it doesn't do actually anything here. So what you can do is you have to change these options. I mean, there's like so many different options here. So let me go change this. Yeah, this is all depends on the effects, but in this effects we have to change the transition completion complete. So I don't want any changes from right there until the second layer starting. So I gotta go set up the new keyframe on the effects. So now I have the keyframe there. Okay, so 0% here, and then after I got, let's say about like 2-3 seconds. Now I'm gonna go change this transition about 100%. Okay, so in this case, kind of showing. Oh, actually, this is just a wipe there, and then now I have to change something else to show the top layer. So I don't want this effects in this second position. So probably there's opacity, or so as you can see, this is not just using only the transition or simple options. There's so many options you can try. So as you can see, you can change this, like how many row, columns, I mean cut scale, see that, like many options so you can add. Okay, so probably you have to go experiment with that. This is available under effects and under transition. This is only one transition, which is the card wipe. All the options right here. So maybe on top of this you can try another effects. I'm adding that. Let's go. So this, you gotta experiment with this. Okay, so the like glass wipe, and this is not really showing anything, but it's a completion is 100%. But yeah, this is another. So this is a combining like hot wipe and glass wipe. So let me delete the glass wipe. No, actually hot wipe. I can just reset it, or I can delete it. So the glass wipe looks. Oh no, card wipe still there. So delete that. So glass wipe. I don't set that yet. Here's the completion. Again, yeah, you have to change the softness and so many options on the effects, the transition. Okay, so give it a try, guys. So basically you have like many images, videos, and we're using this like effects or transition, and at the end maybe you can just rotate your logo animation and adding the effects with the particle for each effects per each. I hand out some of them, so like and you complete that with the music file in it, and you render out with a video clip. Okay, so I'll talk about adding the music and final completion, making the output video clip next video. Okay.